Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. This is the continuation of Under the Heaven, the story narrative game set in Warring States, China, and it is day 5 of training. Your rip scream from yesterday's spar. Through the night you visualize the fight, every mistake, every opening. Now you understand what you did wrong. The instructors take the recruits further from the front gate of the main yard, through rows of tents, and the fires burn in early in the day, onto the mixed ground that has been worn down by years of marching soldiers. Trees are scattered about the land at random intervals. Tall blades of grass swathe back and forth with each gust of wind as you follow the dirt pathways that twist sharply into unexpected low points and hills. This drill unfolds across uneven ground where soldiers trip, vanish, or get cut down when they fail to read the land beneath them. The recruits fan out in all directions in a large semicircle. The smell of wet dirt and crushed pine needles fills the air. Somewhere ahead of you, crows erupt into flight. Their calls echo through the air like warning signals. Instructors bark orders. Move! Observe! Nothing here is what it seems! The drill begins. A recruit stumbles into a shallow hole masked by grass. Another slips on loose gravel. Farther ahead, a pair weave between the trees and vanish briefly over a hidden ridge. The ground is a trap for the careless. Your own lane stretches into shadows and sunlight, a shifting pattern of hazards waiting to catch you off guard. How do you navigate the terrain? How do I navigate the terrain? Read the ground, anticipate danger, move fast, trust your reflexes, guide the others, call out hazards. Well, let me see. That'll definitely keep boosting my compassion, potentially my unity. Read the ground should give me scouting and anticipating danger. I don't know, maybe flanking. I'm not quite sure. Maybe formation. And of course, move fast. Trust my reflexes. Aggressive because of the move fast bit. Trust my reflexes. Cunning. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to continue to attempt. I mean, like I said, this is the block we're going for, you know? I mean, I've seen some of the pictures, and they're probably future state game pictures. But, you know, numbers can get pretty high, and they're pretty big. I've seen some pretty spread across the board, so focusing on 5, though I probably should get these above 0. Although, numbers mean nothing, it's just that occasionally you get a trait. So, 0 actually means as little as, I guess, maybe 9 or 14 or 19. I'm not quite sure where you get your numbers. Yes. So, I'm going to read the ground and anticipate. I'll guide others. Call out hazards. Defensive, compassion, formation. Yep, that's pretty much what I thought. Formation. Yeah, we're not really doing into that, but that's good. You call out dangers as you see them, steadying one recruit as they nearly twist an ankle. The line holds because someone chooses to pay attention for everyone. The instructors watch from higher ground, arms folded, their gaze sweeping across the shifting field. Every stumble is marked. Every clean adjustment is noted. The land shows you how careless you are much quicker than the enemy. The land shows you how careless you are much quicker than any enemy. Okay, sorry, I slightly reread that one. Let's roll. Oh, wow, and that one. The ground deceives you completely. What appears to be firm underfoot turns into a hole and you slide down it whilst trying to stop yourself. Dirt fills your mouth and your weapon tears from your grip. An instructor yells through the trees. In battle, that is where you die. Get to your feet again. Dirt still in your mouth, and each one of your fellow recruits has seen you make a mistake. Nat 1. I can't do anything against a Nat 1. The earth betrayal yesterday still burns. Oh, day 6, the eye. Dirt in your mouth, the instructor's eyes tracking your collapse. Through the night, you traced every misstep in your mind. The grass patterns you missed, the soil you misread, the ground that swallowed your confidence whole. Other recruits sleep. Steady. At dawn, you know terrain better than you know yourself, but knowing and doing are different things. Today proves which one you've mastered. The air inside the training grounds feels different today. Tighter. Charged. Recruits gather in a wide circle while instructors drag heavy crates, wooden barricades, and painted banners into position. The ground becomes a crude imitation of a battlefield, complete with choke points, cover, and narrow lanes where panic thrives. No one speaks. Even the most talkative recruits fall silent. A captain steps forward. His armor is worn, his eyes colder than the rest of the instructors. He surveys the recruits with a gaze that cuts through to the core of who they are. This is a battlefield. Treat it as such. He signals. Instantly, a simulation erupts. Instructors strike shields to mimic enemy charges. Painted arrows whistle through the air, loosed by hidden archers. Recruits scatter, collide, shout warnings, or freeze entirely. Chaos blooms like fire racing through dry grass. The officers watch from the perimeter, arms folded behind their backs, reading every moment, every hesitation, every instinct. No one tells you what to do. The entire test is about who you are when orders vanish and only instinct remains. Ahead of you, a recruit trips near a barricade. To your left, another rushes forward, unsure whether to hide or advance. Behind you, mock arrows rain against the dirt. A gap opens in a chaotic line. What rises in you at that moment? Take the gap, hold, form a hold, charge, disrupt them before they press, slip through, assess first. That'll obviously be cutting and all that kind of stuff. Take the gap, hold firm. I mean, again, this all comes down to a roll. Not that I know if these rolls particularly actually mean anything. They don't seem to be having too much of an effect on things. Because these stats don't affect your rolls, the traits you'll eventually get from these stats will affect my roll. Take the gap, form a hold. That'll definitely be defensive. Unity, maybe formation. But no, I'm going to go slip through and assess. That'll be scouting and cunning, I assume. Cunning, compassion, and scouting. There you go. You move like a shadow through the broken lanes, watching every angle, gauging risk, learning the pattern of the simulation. You strike only when the moment demands it. The captain's hand rises and the battlefield illusion dissolves into silence. The dust has not yet settled when the officers begin their inspection. Walking between recruits as if counting survivors after a real clash. Their attention stops on you, and I roll a nat 20. Yeah, it didn't roll. I did click it. Okay, please roll. Thank you. Oh, come on! You see the opening, but you hesitate a breath too long. By the time you move, the moment has already shifted. A recruit beside you absorbs the pressure you should have taken. An instructor notes it with a curt shake of his head. You acted, just not fast enough. I mean, I can't help the rolls. I really can't. Rolling basically comes into 4 quarters. And you can guess, you know, below 10 is a fail, basically above 10 is a pass. Can't do much against the roll. Night falls with a different weight after today. Just the low noise of people settling in for the night. Boots stacked near tents, armor straps loosened. Someone hums a tune you can't identify. He stops humming before finishing it. Nearby, a pair of recruits sits on an overturned crates, rubbing salve into bruised soldiers. I heard the real unit drills don't start for another month, one of them says. The other snores. Good. Gives me time to start shaking every time someone yells. A pause. Think they'll move us to the eastern yard after this? Probably. That's where they keep the ones who don't wash out. Well, I mean, I haven't done very good this episode. Last episode was pretty good, though. In terms of rolls, I think I passed 3 out of 4. The conversation drifts. Some of the recruits are complaining about sleep. Others talk about how long it'll take before the body stops hurting all the time. The fires burn low. The camp settles into a kind of quiet that suggests routine, repetition, and weeks of the same waiting ahead. For the first time since arriving, it feels like this might actually become normal. Day 7, necessity. Yesterday's hesitation cuts deeper than any wound. Your movements were clear but slow, thinking when you should have been acting. Through the darkness, you forced yourself to move faster, to trust instinct over analysis, till your body ached from the repetition. Now comes the dawn and the question torments you. Will you be able to silence the doubt before it devours you? I hope so. The shouting begins before the sun rises. The sounds are sharp and frantic, carrying a fear that has no place in training. Recruits spill from tents. Some run, some freeze. Officers push past in half-secured armor, carrying scrolls, banners, and weapons meant for real war, not practice. There is something very wrong. A formation captain climbs onto a supply crate. His armor is dented, mud still clinging to it as if he came from a battlefield rather than a camp. He pulls out a roll of parchment. The yard falls silent. He reads the first name. A recruit steps forward, stiff with fear. He reads another, then doesn't stop. Recruits exchange looks, but no one understands. Some whisper, voices cracking with dread. Someone near you mutters, "Are they culling us?" Another whispers, 7 days. We must have failed. The names continue. Too many. Far too many. Your heartbeat climbs with each one called. Then your name cuts through the air like a blade. Your stomach drops. You falter. Were your efforts not enough? You step forward into the tense quiet, every eye on you. A few recruits look away, afraid of being called next. Captain's expression is unreadable. Only when the last name is spoken does he finally lower the scroll. He looks at the gathered group, voice heavy as iron. The border brigade has been shattered. A ripple passes through the yard like a shockwave. The enemy crosses the border 2 nights ago. They struck fast, aiming for the grain basin behind the waterway. Our brigade broke. Many officers fell. Too many. He scans your faces. None of you breathe. The Supreme Commander, Lady Ying, has ordered General Kai Feng to hold the Fen River. A new force must be formed immediately from the troops around the region. We do not have time for more training. He steps down, boots thudding against the crate as if sealing your fate. Not all of you performed well this week. Some of you were corrected again and again and still came back to the yard. War has use for that kind of resolve. Captain Liang approaches, standing close enough for you to feel his breath. The air tightens around your throat. Every choice you made these past days carved a path through you, he says quietly. I should probably lower my voice. Your training performance was poor. You did not turn away from it. You kept adjusting, kept learning. That path has taken form. We will see whether that kind of resolve survives first contact. His voice sharpens. By necessity of war, you are promoted to 5-man leader. You've developed a new trait. Ooh, what have I got? Promoted to 5-man leader. Oh, I got a few points. Earned Quiet Wall. What does Quiet Wall give me? I don't know. It won't tell me. Oh, 7 days of hell have burned something stubborn into you that refused to break. Quiet Wall. Okay, why wouldn't it? Okay, I don't know I don't know what Quiet Wall gives me. I don't know. You protect without demanding recognition, he says. When you defend, when you support, it just works. The army needs more like you. You grip your shoulder. But if no one sees your sacrifices, no one promotes you. Quiet walls get taken for granted. He grips on your shoulder, tightens, almost painful. In the past 7 days, you found something in yourself you didn't know was there. He releases you. Now sharpen it into a blade. His eyes bore into yours one last time. Your men are waiting. You have no time to think about what that means. Your unit has grown. Press the wooden soldier to open the unit scroll and review or manage those now under your... Not every soldier is meant to become an officer. Most will die unnamed. A few will shape your legacy. Click or hover over on cards to learn more about promising soldiers under your command. When the time is right, you'll assess their future roles in the unit. Oh, so here we go. Quiet Wall. Hang on, I had it there. No, it did just come up. Oh, hang on, this is it. All characters have rarity traits. Black frames represent common. Blue, rare. Purple, elite. Gold, legendary. Okay, that's a color system I can get behind. Your soldiers are assigned to your unit from the army's available pool. More characters will join your unit as you rise through the ranks. Promising soldiers, trusted officers, officers who carry a command, roles. Assign trusted officers to key roles to influence battle outcomes. Quiet Wall. You protect without demanding recognition. Your defense works even when no one notices. Okay, so... to protect others, good with defense. I'm gonna guess that's a compassion and a defense combination. Soldier, Ma Chao. Ma Chao comes from a minor noble family that has lost its status generations ago. He carries himself with pride that no longer matches his circumstances. Convinced that battlefield achievements will restore what his bloodline has lost. He rides like someone born to it, handles horses with natural confidence, and volunteers for every dangerous assignment as though proving something to ghosts. His ambition burns visible in everything he does, and it will either forge him into something exceptional or consume him trying. Anticipates danger and directs allies away from high-risk exposure. Concentrates force to rupture enemy lines quickly. Maintains cohesion under extreme strain, resisting collapse even when outnumbered or exhausted. Okay. Grumbo is built like a siege engine and has learned that size answers most questions. People ask about him before he opens his mouth. His village called him the Ox and gave him ox work, hauling, lifting, breaking. The army gave him a sledgehammer and finally looked satisfied. During training, he broke practice weapons, shattered shields, and left sparring partners bruised or unconscious, all while trying to be gentle. He joined hoping his size might mean something beyond destruction, but the army seems to want exactly what his village wanted, and he's beginning to suspect this is all he'll ever be. He's a stormbreaker, applies relentless pressure until resistance collapses under sustained assault, turns allied losses into focused counter-aggression that destabilizes the enemy, and concentrates forces to rupture enemy lines quickly, accepting cost to secure decisive advantage. Okay, I'm sure I should potentially put in these guys somewhere. We'll have a look. Keep them alive long enough, they might earn a name's worth remembering. I'm in voice now. He turns away mid-sentence, already shouting at someone else. You face the 4 recruits. They stand unevenly. One is too far forward, one hangs back, one avoids your eyes altogether. Ma Chao studies you instead of the marching column. One of my seconds. They made you 5-man leader, he says carefully. Why? The question carries no accusation, it weighs you. The one who spoke too fast adds, we all survived the week, so what did you do differently? Granbo says nothing. He is watching your answer more than the others. Does it matter? We either survive together or we don't. You shift the file bundle in your hands. They chose me. That doesn't change what we are. 5 bodies in 1 line. Machao exhales slowly. Then don't waste us. Your file fall into step behind you. The column was already forming beyond the tents. Lines of soldiers tightening into something that resembles an army rather than a camp. You merge with the marching ranks. Mounting messengers tear out of the camp, banners snapping in the hard wind. General Kai Feng gathers forces near the Fen River. The enemy advances faster than expected. A shattered brigade retreats towards the crossing, leaving gaps that must build. You are sent to stand where others failed to hold. The continent enters another uneasy season. The banners of the 7 states rise and fall in quiet tension, each kingdom watching the next with narrowed eyes. I believe I went Zhao. Did I go Zhao? Am I the Zhao army? I think so. So if someone's crossing a river, I guess I'm either defending against Wei, somewhere around here, or the army, maybe somewhere around here. The banners of the 7 states, rumors spread across the northern plains that the silence from Qin is preparing for action. Okay. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Sorry, yeah, we've got a river here as well. Could be on this side. So I guess we are. Their armies have withdrawn from border skirmishes, and their forges burn hotter than before. Some believe Qin is gathering strength for a sudden campaign against Zhao. Others whisper that Qin seeks a deeper target and hides its intentions behind disciplined stillness. To the south, the great state of Chu struggles under the weight of internal fracture. A new supreme commander has taken the helm, reshaping their high command. Old alliances tremble beneath disappointment. Vassal lords question where Chu's loyalties now lie, and neighboring states prepare for the shock of its next move. In the west, Wei and Han... Okay, that's the south, but never mind. Wei and Han trade blows across disputed farmland. Neither gains ground. Both strain their treasuries and empty their armories in a struggle that drains them more than their rivals. Along the northern coast, Yan gathers forces in secret. Spies report an increased troop movement and unfamiliar banners rising in their camps. No one knows their aim. Will Yan betray its fragile alliance with Qi, or will it strike at Zhao to exploit his weaknesses, while Qin waits in the dark? Some believe Yan watches the growing tension, waiting for the first misstep, or deciding whom to support and whom. All across the land, border forts brace for storms of steel. Every commander reads the shifting winds with suspicion. The balance of the 7 states rests on rumors carried by frightened messengers and spies who vanish before their reports are confirmed. This is the continent you march upon, a land where decisions made in distant courts follow entire armies. I mean, I don't know, are these supposed to be the fighting lines that are going on? If they are, then the kin line is quite far back. The march to the river. The march to the Fen River is nothing like the drills of training. It feels heavier, darker. Cold wind cuts through the ranks and settles into the bones of every 5-man unit struggling to keep pace. Your recruits walk behind you, whispering questions among themselves. Ahead, veterans stare forward with sunken eyes, already bracing for what awaits. Then you see him. General Kai Feng, a man ordered to hold a river with an army assembled in 4 frantic days. He rides slowly along the column, studying faces drawn from every corner of the kingdom. Villages, border forts, unfinished training camps. Faces too young or too raw for a stand like this. Faces that tremble when they believe no one is watching. His jaw tightens at the sight. 30,000 soldiers. Too few hardened ones. Too many recruits. Against a host led by General Jin Huran. The systematic, calculated aggression, calculating mind, breaker of wills. Yikes. Famous for striking hard and fast until armies buckle under the weight of his momentum. General Kai Feng halts near the riverbank, watching engineers dig trenches and plant stakes in soil still soft from yesterday's rain. The line looks fragile, a thin shell braced against a hammer already in motion. Officers exchange glances that tell the story they can't say out loud. He is undermanned. He is unready. He has no choice but to stand. Yet whispers within the command tent carry another truth. General Kai Feng was not sent here because he lacked skill. He was sent here because he had too much. Court rivals have long feared his rise. Every campaign he won pushed him closer to the title of Great General. A title they blocked with quiet hands and polished smiles. Now they have placed him on a front meant to crush him. If he fails, they will call it fate. If he succeeds, the court will have to bow to the miracle they tried to prevent. This river will test more than the army. It will test whether a worthy commander can rise despite those who buried his path. Civilians flee past your column, carrying whatever they can salvage. Smoke twists upward from villages already lost. Scouts ride past with frantic reports. The enemy burns everything behind them. They advance without hesitation. They've reached the base and outskirts. The tension tightens like a cord pulled too far. As the sun lowers, messengers rush into the command tent. General Kai Feng dismounts and enters, surrounded by officers delivering dire reports. A horn cuts through the air. Senior and junior officers, prepare for war council. Your pulse quickens. This is no drill. This is a moment your life bends towards war. I'm a junior officer? The command tent is crammed with tension. Sorry, cramped with tension? Cramped with tension. Filled with high-ranking officers. Some, pulled from the retreating brigade, still wear torn armor. 5-man and 10-man leaders, even a few 100-man captains, circle the edges, straining to catch fragments of what's being said. The air smells of cold earth, ink, and fear held tightly in clenched jaws. General Kai Feng stands over a rough map carved into hardened ground. The Fen River sweeps across the center of it in a wide arc. Deeper into Zhao's territory than any of you expected a stand to be made. He begins without ceremony. Wait, again, sorry, who am I facing again? I keep forgetting to read. Nope, that doesn't have a people's name. Enemy forces under General Jin Horan, 40,000. He pauses, jaw tight. The commander attacks with speed and pressure. He will test us hard. Another pause. We will not break. He marks 3 points along the river with the deliberate, heavy strokes. 5,000 man commander Dai Ming holds the center. 5,000 man commander Gao Ting holds the left. 5,000 man commander Chen Yu the right. He then adds, I retain 10,000 in reserve to reinforce collapsing sectors as needed. Haven't we got 30,000? Just saying. Dai Ming. Never been the first to charge or the last to retreat. He watches how battles develop, committing his forces only when outcomes seem certain. Preserving strength for moments when momentum clearly favors one side. Attrition warfare, disciplinarian, ghost blade. Nice. Gao Ting. 5,000 man commander. He's a disciplinarian. Weaver's Art achieves near seamless synchronization between allied units. Administration. Transforms order into outcome through paperwork, supply, discipline, and enforcement. Ooh, I like him. He holds the left. Chen Yu. Where lines are thin and failures would spread fast. Shadow Aegis. Intercepts emerging threats through rapid, quiet repositioning. Maintains protective coverage through adaptive movement and repositioning. Anticipates danger and directs allies away from high risk. Oh, I like this guy. I like this guy on the right. I think he's going to hold very well. A murmur ripples through the tent. Someone whispers too loudly. That makes 25,000. Where are the other 5? I shift. Math that does not add up makes shoulders uneasy. General pretends not to hear it, and an officer from the staff asks the question everyone is afraid to raise. General, what of the 5,000 man commander Liu Sheng and his men? Overwhelming force, Stormbreaker, and a Hammer of the Line. Alright, he is the crushing line. They have another assignment. Flanking force, maybe? The quiet cuts like a blade. Another assignment. At a time like this, when they are undermanned, an enemy approaches with overwhelming force? The murmurs turn darker. Does he want us to fail? We need all 30,000 for you. Why has he sent 5,000 away? The captain tries to shush the tent. The doubt remains. Thick smoke. General Kai Feng steels himself. All of you must understand. What happens at this river will decide whether the basin falls. Hold your sectors. Every moment we endure shapes the battle to come. I reckon he's flanking. He's found another fort somewhere. He's flanking. I'm betting on it. He finally looks up, locking eyes with officers ranked across experience and wariness. This army was assembled in 4 days. Can't win on strength. You will win by refusing to yield, not a step backwards. The tension in the tent shifts. Fear mixed with reluctant resolve. He steps back from the map. My general staff will deliver your assignments. Prepare your units. The enemy advances without stopping. Staff officer unrolls a new scroll, calling out instructions. 3 choices lie before you as the tent empties. Get your orders immediately will definitely be a discipline thing, I think. Talk to my file first. And the captain asks for guidance. Pressure, discipline, aggression. Yeah, I'm going to find the captain and ask for guidance. Compassion +1. Got the captain from training speaking with a group of officers. You approach quickly. He turns to you. Eyes sharp, recognizing you immediately. Lost? Good. Every sane man should be. Go get your orders, and remember, fear is fine. Letting fear lead is not. You follow his advice and retrieve your assignment from the staff table. Southern Bend sector under Commander Chen Yu. Move fast. Ooh, he's on the right flank if I remember. Captain's word echoes you leave the tent. Day 1 of the battle, first light. The southern bend of the Fen River looks worse up close. Rain, swollen mud clings to your boots. Debris from the retreating brigade's collapse still chokes the shoreline. The ground shifts under your weight, soft enough to betray footing the moment pressure hits it. This is where you will stand. A field captain paces the bank, shouting over the dull echo of distant enemy drums. Clear your ground. Stabilize the bend. If the sector falls, the right flank goes with it. Your recruits exchange nervous glances. The air tastes of cold earth and tightening fear. Choose how you prepare your sector. Scout the terrain, mark hazards. Cunning, compassion, and scouting. Yeah, keep pushing those numbers. Compassion's on a 9. You walk the bend, testing the mud, clearing unseen debris, learning the ground the way an enemy's scout would. The work is finished. Sweat cuts through the cold. Your hands are raw, you're breathing heavy. Around you, other units complete their own preparations. Some dig frantically, others stand rigid in formation, repeating drills until muscles remember what fear forgets. The field captain returns, surveying the bend with narrowed eyes. He says nothing, but his nod is enough. Your sector will hold, or it will not. Either way, you have done what you could. The sun climbs higher, the distant drums grow louder. The enemy is coming. Now we are on the 30-minute mark. I don't know how long this fight will take, so I'm gonna push through it. See what happens. 10,000 men line the riverbank like a wall of iron and desperation. Across the water. Wow, battle music's getting a bit louder. Let's tone that down a bit. Across the water, enemy banners ripple. A black tide waiting to surge. Your hand tightens on your weapon. This isn't training. This is where names are carved or erased. General Jin Huran, known for breaking defenders through relentless pressure, sends small detachments towards every sector like a man testing the strength of a clay pot. These are measured thrusts meant to read the ground, putting the nerves of the hastily built defense. Your own commander reacts in kind. Signal flags rise along the riverbank. Officers pass hurried orders to tighten lines, correct spacing, and mark unstable soil. The enemy is ready to test you too. The first warning comes from the left sector. Shadows shift across the far bank as disciplined probing unit advances. Shields raised, steps steady. Their posture says everything. We're not here to kill you yet, we're here to learn. Arrows hiss. Thin, spaced shots meant to study reactions. The field captain shouts, "Hold positions! Do not overreach!" Your men stiffen. You spot the enemy's feint a moment early. Their leftmost skirmish probe a soft patch you already marked in your mind. How do you respond? I am going to shift to stable ground. Cunning, discipline, and scouting. Oh, we got one for discipline. Why not? You shift position, guiding your men towards the firmer ground you marked earlier. Your men move with you, following your lead. Across the water, the probe closes, measured and patient, as if it already knows where to strike. Your first glass comes fast. Your decision becomes a verdict. I've had 2 bad rolls. Come on, I'm due a nat 20. Come on. Okay. We got +1 for the preparation. It's a pass with cost. The probe hits as a tight wedge of 6. You meet them firmly. They're numbers already. How rude. Ma Chao counters their lead thrust with a clean redirection, turning 2 blows aside. Your line holds its shape, but a recruit cries out as a javelin grazes his shoulder. You drop one of the enemy in the mud and send another limping. Remaining skirmishers retreat in a steady, studied withdrawal. Across the river, the enemy's formations begin to shift. General Jin Huran, after reading the morning probes, makes his move. Thoughts flow through his ranks. Instability in the center. Hesitation on the left, but the greatest fracture lies on the right flank. He wastes no time. A broad banner rises over his left wing. 5,000 troops detach in perfect discipline. Wheeling towards your army's right, dust climbs behind them like a brewing storm. Well, that would be me on the right. Your own commander reacts instantly. General Kai Feng sends warning signals from the ridge. Scouts race across the line, led by Fang Zi. 2,000 reserves scramble to reinforce the right flank. Battlefield charisma, I love it. Pragmatism, administrator. But their footing is uneven, and their formation is not yet settled. The enemy arrives faster. A thunderous roar erupts from the sector north of you. Then the world breaks. 5,000 enemy infantry crash into the weakened line like a hammer against clay. Shields don't just buckle, they shatter. Men are thrown backwards, bones snapping. Throats torn by the sheer pressure of bodies compressing. The formation bends further. then splits with a sound like tearing fabric. Blood sprays into the air in crimson mist. Right flank! Right flank is falling! Wounded soldiers erupt towards your position, fleeing, eyes wide with animal terror. Armor streaked with blood that isn't all theirs. Some are missing weapons, others drag comrades who had already stopped breathing. The mud churns into soup. Officers scream conflicting orders, voices cracking, hoarse from hours of battle, and no one knows what to do because the line isn't just collapsing sideways, it's disintegrating. The enemy spearhead drives through the rupture like a blade through skin, unstoppable, hungry, aimed directly at your throat. Your heart pounds so hard you can feel it in your teeth. This is where you die, unless... Have I got one wounded soldier? I can't quite see. Your recruits grip their weapons, breathe sharp and uneven. Ma Chao moves to your side. His stance is steady, eyes locked on the collapsing flank. He mutters quickly, "We hold here, or the river folds." The spillover slams towards your bend. How do you respond? For the broken ranks behind you, form a wall, because I form a quiet wall. It's what I do, apparently. You anchor yourself and pull the retreating soldiers behind your line. Your 5 form a wall. With your order, the file move at once, because hesitation here is death. The spillover surges closer, drowning the bank in screaming, mud, and steel. I'm still due that nat 20. I'll take a dirty 20. Strong success. Against all odds, your 5-man unit holds the initial spillover. You close the gap before the enemy wedge can widen it. Junbo strikes down an enemy infantryman with a fierce counterblow, surprising even nearby veterans. Engineers and officers shout their approval as the bend stays intact. Word spreads quickly down the line. The southern bend holds! That unit holds! A rare spark of morale on a failing flank. But the danger is far from over. The enemy is still pushing, and the day is long. The shadow grows longer, but the blood doesn't stop flowing. Across the basin, General Jin Huran's command banner shifts. A signal every officer recognizes instantly. Your stomach drops. He's committing everything. Another 5,000 soldiers pour towards the right flank. Fresh troops who haven't tasted battle yet, running at full sprint. The pressure on your flank doubles. Sound is not a charge, it is a collapse, waiting to happen. At the same time, 5,000 more sweep towards the left and center, just to pin them in place, like insects, on a board. He wants the breakthrough, here, now, before the sun drops and robs him of victory. Your general sees it too. General Kai Feng rides down from the ridge at full gallop with desperate, ferocious speed. His armor is caked with mud and ash. He screams orders from the front line, riding between collapsing units, physically shoving officers back into position. His presence ignites something in the men, a refusal to break while he still stands. But even that isn't enough. Your sector has been fighting for hours. Your men's movements are sluggish. Armor weighs like stone. Threat stings your eyes until everything blurs. Your weapon arm shakes with fatigue so deep it feels like you're drowning on dry land. You pray, silently, desperately, for the sun to fall. But the enemy arrives first. Then the world shatters. A roar tears across the battlefield. War. Animal. The sound of something breaking that should never break. Commander down! Commander down! You spin. Time crystallizes. 1,000-man commander Bang Ji goes down hard. Dropped as if the ground rejected him. Blood bursts, and the men around him recoil like the ground just opened. Standing over him is a monster. A towering 3,000-man commander of Qin. Oh, so I am fountain Qin. Okay. Gao Feng. Blade as wide as a man's chest. Dripping. Crimson. He's a dual specialist. Explosive speed. Fearmonger. Not going to pick a fight with that guy. Fear revels. He revels in the kill. He cuts through retreating soldiers without slowing. Every swing has a destination. And something is always in the way. An arm hits the mud, still gripping a spear. A man falls without making a sound. Your sector trembles. If he breaks through here, everyone dies. You turn to Macho. Hold this line, you say. He freezes, not from fear, but from understanding. Dragon, you can't. Hold the line. He swallows, nods once. Yao Feng lifts his blade again, head tilting as he scans for the next obstruction, and his gaze finds you. I'm dueling it. What is wrong with me? Space around him clears. I am not a one-on-one fighter. Soldiers scramble aside. He cuts down two without breaking his stride, clearing his path. Mud sprays. Blood darkens the ground, and then he stops. His eyes lock onto yours. You don't think. Your body moves on its own. Muscle memory from drills you hated. Instincts carved into your bones in a week that felt like a year. Your 5-man unit shouts your name, but the sound fades. The world contracts to 2 points. You and him. He bares his teeth in something like a smile. He lifts his blade and charges with terrifying speed. The duel begins. So hang on, he's a duel specialist. He's got explosives bleed. Strikes land before defenses fully form, and he's a fearmonger. Okay, I'm gonna keep that up a second. Yao Feng closes the distance with terrifying speed for a man wearing heavy armor. Blade carving lazy arcs in the air, blood still dripping from previous kills. He wants to test you first. The predator gauging new prey. Up close, he's even more terrifying. The stench of blood and sweat rolling off him in waves. Blade notched and stained from years of killing. Chips where it's bitten through bone. His eyes carry the ease of a man who has killed many officers and remembers none of them. You're not the first desperate fool to stand in his way, but maybe you'll be the first to survive it. Your men shout behind you, but their voices drown under the pounding in your ears. How do you meet this opening approach? I'm gonna go for keep distance, I think. Study him. Spending discipline and scouting. Yeah, a bit more in discipline, okay. You circle, forcing him to adjust his footing instead of charging straight through you. His shoulders roll before each strike. His weight favors the left side when he commits. You watch the exchange unfold carefully. You record it as it happens. The distance closes with the inevitability of impact. Whatever you choose, you are already inside it. Next moment decides everything. I'm still owed that nat 20. I know I said I'll take a dirty 20, but I know I owed a nat 20. I'm dead. Hey, 19 again. Probably scripted, but hey. Enemy is wounded, you gain momentum. You slip his opening blow with a hair's breadth to spare. Wind from the blade's passage kissing your cheek. Your counter cracks into his gauntlets with perfect timing. The impact jars his arm, forcing his neck swing to come closer, clumsier. For the first time, surprise flickers across his face. For the first time, surprise crosses his face. Huh? Flickers across the first... Okay, that's a bit of a repeated odd sentence. Sorry. The dawning realization that you might actually know how to fight. His grin widens. Good. He was getting bored. 1 point to me, I believe. Something in his stance changes. Lower. Heavier. The playfulness drains from his eyes like water from a cracked cup. His shoulders drop. His weapon rises with terrible deliberation. It is no longer a test. This is an execution. Your lungs burn. Every breath tastes like copper and ash. Sweat streams into your eyes, turning the world into a stinging blur. Your weapon arm shakes with exhaustion so deep, it feels like the bones themselves are vibrating. His blade lifts. Slow and inevitable, like a mountain deciding to fall on you. He's done playing. Now he kills. How do you answer this escalation? I'm going to defend tight and conserve strength. Defense, compassion, formation. I'm getting a good bit of information coming in now. You tighten your guard and lower your center of gravity, absorbing the tremor in your arms and forcing your breath to rhythm. He is stronger. That does not mean he is flawless. You will try to survive long enough to find the crack. He moves fast. The world contracts to the sound of steel tearing air. I'm still due that nat 20. I'm going to keep putting it out there. They still owe me that nat 20. Ooh. Yes, I can put it into a bad fail. Bad success. Enemy is wounded, you gain momentum. I suppose it's just fail or succeed in duels. Success with cost. Yeah. Your blade bites into his forearm where armor meets flesh. Blood seeps beneath the gauntlet. His next swing slows, enough to let you catch it again and redirect it. The first time, he adjusts to you. You've shown him you can fight. Now he knows he has to give you something to fight against. The duel has collapsed into a single decisive point. Everything else, the battlefield, the screaming, the dying, fades into background static. The world is just you and him. His breath comes in ragged gasps. Blood streams down his flank where you wounded him, but his eyes still burn with that terrible, exhilarating hunger. Your muscles scream. Every fiber in your body is on fire. Your weapon feels like it weighs 10,000 pounds. Or 1,000 pounds, either way. Sweat and blood make your grip slippery. Around you, the battlefield's roar fades into distant thunder. Sunset bleeds across the sky. The world turning the color of carnage at your feet. This is it. One of you walks away. The other feeds the mud. He charges with pure, murderous intent. How do you meet him? Hold, let him break himself. You root yourself into the mud and tighten your guard to its smallest shape. If he wants you dead, he would have to carve through iron first. If he overcommits, even for a breath, you will be there to take it from him. You compress your guard to its smallest shape and lock your stance. His shadow swallows you. There is no retreat from this distance. Again, surely with... Yeah, nice. The momentum and everything. Oh, I am wounded. Steel slams into steel. Stalemate. A single hard impact cutting through the chaos. His blade grazes your shoulder. Your counter draws blood from his ribs. Both of you stagger back. Both of you breathing hard. The horns sound. Nightfall. He grins. Blood streaming down his flank. Tomorrow, we finish this. He backs away. Slowly. Never taking his eyes off you. Your men finally reach you. They don't speak. They can't. Breathless and blood-shrieked, they stare at you like a ghost, as if you should be dead, and they're not sure you're real. One of them, hands shaking, reaches out to touch your arm. You're solid. You're here. Before anyone can find words, the evening horn rolls across the riverfront. Deep, mournful, sound of the day dying. Both armies begin to withdraw. Movement slows to stumbling. Weapons drag through mud. Soldiers limp or are carried away. The battlefield doesn't empty, it just stops fighting. Groans, distant sobbing, the wet sound of medics trying to save men who are already gone. The day dies with a taste of blood in your mouth. The darkness doesn't bring peace, it just hides the horror until morning forces you to look at it again. Torches flicker in the wind. Cries of the wounded carry across the camp. Bodies lie beneath weighted cloth. Armor is stacked in heaps beside blood-darkened bandages. The first task is treatment. A medic binds your wounds with practiced, wary hands. The sting is sharp, but you grit your teeth. Your unit gather close, shaken, relieved you are still upright. Nearby, more medics tend to your wounded men. One groans as a splint is tightened. Another stares numbly at the sky while his arm is stitched. The pain of your men settles heavily in your chest. Across the ridge, officers gather in the command tent. The air inside is thick with smoke, sweat, and dread. General Kai Feng stands over a map carved into hardened earth. Mud streaks his armor. His face is drawn and grim. Reports are delivered, one after another. Right flank, 612 dead. 2,340 wounded. Center, heavy pressure, 210 dead. Wounded is still being counted. Left, holding, 700 wounded. 143 dead. Spirits shaking. Total effective strength lost today, approximately 3,000. 1,000-man cavalry commander, Bang Ji, confirmed killed. Tension hangs in the air. Another officer steps forward. The enemy smelled fear on the right. They will strike there with everything tomorrow. General Kai Feng nods once. Then the right must not break, he points to a position on the map. 3,000-man commander, Bai Ren. Take 2,000 from the reserves. Reinforce the right band at dawn. finger presses into the earth. They will throw everything at that bend. It breaks, the basin opens. We deny them. Bai Ren steps forward. He studies the map for a long moment, then bows once, deeply. Logistic mastery. Administrator, prepared mind. Kai Feng's voice drops to a harsh whisper. The light collapses tomorrow. The basin falls. That cannot happen. The council disperses. Back at your fire, your unit drink water, worn and quiet. The shadow crosses the torchlight. Jin Wei approaches. He gives you a curt nod. You're still standing. That's more than many today. He's another 5-man leader. Pragmatism, calculated aggression, hammer's edge. Nice. Cold wind sweeps through the camp. Across the river, enemy torches burn like scattered stars. In the darkness, a single blade glints under torchlight as Gao Feng sharpens its edge in cold fury. He bleeds tonight, but whether from the wound or his rage, no one can tell. Your men settle down for restless sleep. Tomorrow, the enemy commander will return. Tomorrow, the right flank will be tested again. Tomorrow, one of you will die. Okay, we are going to have to leave it there. The fight's taken much longer than I thought it was going to. So the next episode might have been a bit of a shorter one, but day 2 will come tomorrow. It may end up being just the end of this fight. I'm not too sure. But until then, as per always, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Got a taste of battle. You'll have to wait for tomorrow until the conclusion. And until then, as per always, I hope that you will stay safe, happy, and healthy.